I hate Lorimer.
I'm not surprised.
I don't want him in my lab. I want him out.
Lorimer has fallen in love with Domenica, half-sister of Max Howarth, who displaced him as director of Hoggart's laboratory. But the love affair was brief.
You took my hand and led me out into the real world. It dazzled me. You dazzled me. For 6 weeks, and now you want to shove me back again? Well, I won't go back.
At the Howarth's dinner party, the pathologist's wife, Mrs. Kerrison, has announced her love affair.
What do you do?
Please don't question me.
I'm sorry.
If you must know. I don't go to the library. I make love to a doctor called Gerald Fitch.
Howarth's secretary, Angela Foley, who is also Lorimer's cousin, needs to claim part of their family legacy.
As a matter of fact, you were going to benefit Angela eventually.
Well, then why can't you help us now when we need it so badly?
I'm sorry.
They'll throw us out!
I doubt it. Get another solicitor.
Hateful.
Dalgleish, in the midst of his murder case, is anxious about his wife's pregnancy.
So frightened if I lose this baby.
Darling, it'll be all right. I promise I'll be there. Oh, I nearly forgot.
What?
I've got something for you. There. Go on, open it up. It was my grandmother's. It was her engagement ring.
Oh, she had 6 children.
Yes, that was extravagant of her, wasn't it?
Oh, Adam, hold me.
Oh, darling. It'll be all right this time, I promise.
Mr. Dalgleish?
Oh. Father.
We haven't seen you here for a while.
No. Not since the funeral.
If you should feel the need to talk.
I don't think it.
Or to say to Mass. We do miss your wife.
Yes. I just called in on the way to work.
Yes, of course. I do understand. I'll say a prayer for her. And for the child.
That means I'm never full yet. Oh, come on.
Cliff, I'll give you a lift to the pub.
I have to pop home.
Oh, okay.
Well, I could come in at 5. Good. And it might save time if you were to tell Major Hunt that I wish to revoke my present will. You've got a copy, I believe? Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Your dad will be out soon. But the lecture's gone on because the projector went mad. Do you like my apple, William?
Yes. Say thank you. Thank you. Daddy's taking us out to lunch before he goes to the hospital.
That's nice.
I like you now, Brenda.
Oh, thanks.
You've got to go back.
I can't.
Stand up to him. Say you do want to comment on his annual report after all. When I worked for Paul Middlemass, he always made us comment on our annual report, said it was only fair. You all right, Debbie? Cliff,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
So you aren't as quick as some. What does it matter? It's accuracy that counts in the end.
I can't cope.
Are you ill?
I don't know.
Apply to establishment for a transfer.
Well, who'll want me after this? Look, he's one of the best, if not the best in the service. He says I'm useless. I am.
All right, you're useless.
No, so you give up on me now.
I'm only saying fight back.
I'd like to. I want to.
Well, at least go back this afternoon. Then we'll talk about it again tonight.
How can we? Your mother's coming.
Only for tea. She'll catch the 7:45 bus. I'll think of something. I promise. But do go.
All right. I'm sorry.
It's stinking hot up here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think I'll put in for a fan.
And blow all your precious papers about.
Yes, there is that. Hello? Who? Yes, I'll speak to her. Why not? Hello, how are you? What? Yes?
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Middlemass, but it's about Cliff. He's...
Has he? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Leave it to me, Sue. I'll deal with Lorimer. In the meantime, tell your precious Clifford not to be a damn fool. He can't be sacked unless he does it to himself. Hasn't he... Hasn't your husband seen the unemployment figures? Well, remind him. And point out that Lorimer alone can't give him the order of the boot. Okay?
Thank you. Goodbye. To be all right, Debbie. I don't know. I don't know who's the bigger baby. You or your dad.
Oh, I'd like a word, Lorimer.
I'm sorry, I've got to get into Ely by 5.
2 minutes, if that.
What?
One Clifford Bradley. Ease up on him. He's hardly God's gift to forensic science, I know, but he's a conscientious lad.
Did you have lunch with Howarth?
Good Lord, no, I wouldn't dream of it. Except as a penance. No, Bradley.
Are you telling me how to manage my staff?
Yeah, that's right, chum, I am. Well, this one, anyway. You like a whipping boy, don't you? It suits your temperament. Well, this time, lay off. Cut it out, right?
Are you threatening me, Middlemass?
Just a friendly warning. I don't pretend to like you. I wouldn't have served under you if the Home Office had been daft enough to appoint you director.
What I do in my department is entirely my business.
Normally, yes, your business, fine. But in this case...
I didn't realise you had this tender regard for Bradley. Oh, of course. His wife will have phoned you. She used to be your SO, didn't she? Bradley wouldn't have the nerve to speak for himself.
I haven't any particular regard for him. But I did have for someone else who once had the misfortune to serve under you at Southern Laboratories. Possibly you remember.
What, Collins?
Yes, David Collins. My wife's cousin.
I never knew that. And he drowned himself because his fiancée threw him over, not because of any other reason.
No, like Bradley, he was a pleasant, ordinary boy.
His suicide was nothing to do with me. The note read out at the inquest made that perfectly clear.
Oh, comfort yourself with that if you like.
He was totally unsuited for the job. A forensic scientist who can't work accurately under pressure is useless.
Your pressure, yes, but let's get back to Bradley.
Now, you keep out of this, Middlemass.
I'll see you drive Bradley to the same end as Collins. Oh, no. Leave him alone, or I shall inform Howarth you and I can't serve in the same lab. It'll be easier for him to find a new biologist than a document examiner, believe you me.
Really? Well, your department's about to be moved to Birmingham. And good riddance.
Oh, look, if you can't make it in bed with Howarth's sister, if she isn't finding you up to it, don't take it out on the rest of us, okay?
You... How dare you!
God, I'm sorry. Are you all right?
Well, really? Grown men hitting each other, you ought to be ashamed.
Yes, we are, or at least I am.
Ridiculous, I agree, Mrs. Bede.
Drop this in the soiled linen, would you?
You put it in the basket. You know I don't go into gents in working hours. Gents? You're hardly that, are you?
Not today, so it seems. Sorry.
Never in all my life have I seen anything...
Oh, come off it, Mrs. B. You loved every minute of it. You can't wait to spread the word. Well, I don't mind. But just remember Dr. Lorimer, May. And he's not the forgiving kind.
You've got to tell me. Did you talk to him?
Why should I want to talk to Edwin?
Because I know you so well. I know when something's upset you.
Oh, Stella, please.
You talked to Edwin Lorimer. You asked him to lend us the money. I'm right, aren't I? We agreed we couldn't. Whatever else we did, we would never...
know.
And what did your precious cousin say?
Oh, he was vile. Sanctimonious. Said I shouldn't rely on getting anything. He said he might be acquiring new obligations very soon.
Obligations? Did he mean marriage?
Don't know.
Oh, no, that's too ridiculous. That desiccated prude.
He didn't actually say marriage, Star.
What else automatically sets aside an existing will?
Well, he said he'd have to reconsider it anyway.
I won't let him treat you like that.
Tell me something. Most nights he works late at the labs, doesn't he?
Yes.
Obsessive efficiency.
Star, it wouldn't do any good you talking to him.
Why not?
He'll only humiliate you too.
Yes, you're probably right.
Are you going?
Out.
Star, don't.
To get some air. Oh, darling. There's nothing to be afraid of.
What about the pages? You said you'd check that and I can retype it after supper.
No, not tonight. You're not doing any typing tonight. You've had a rotten day. You're tired. Go to bed early.
You, Dr. Lorimer.
He hasn't, sir? Huh. Well, I certainly haven't seen him here yet this morning. Well, all right, sir, I'll just check it out for you. Brenda, nip up and have a look, will you? It won't be a minute, sir. We're just checking now.
Dr. Lorimer.
Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. We're finding out now. What is it? Brenda? What's the matter? Hang on, Mr. Lorimer. Brenda? Say, what's the matter? What do you see?
What's going on here? Somebody phoned my old man, said I wasn't wanted here today. Said Miss Harth needed me. Who's having me on? What's the matter with you?
Honey, it's his dad. Old Mr. Lorimer. He didn't come home last night.
Morning, sir. Dr. Harth.
Hello?
What is it, Blakelock?
It's Dr. Lorimer, sir. His dad rang to say he wasn't there this morning. Bed hadn't been slept in. Brenda went up to check the lab. He's dead, sir.
Lorimer? Dead?
Yes, sir.
No, you stay here, Blakelock, and make sure everybody remains here in reception as they arrive. Phone, phone the Chief Constable and then Dr. Kerrison, and then get me the Home Office.
Yes. We'll call you back, Mr. Lorimer.
You found him? Poor little bugger.
I liked him. I know no one else did.
Mrs. Hoggett, wake up. I'll speak to the Chief Constable, please. Yes, it is.
Freeborn, yes?
It's here. Good morning, Sir Charles Freeborn. Thank you. I'll just be a couple of seconds.
Come in. Well, who's assigned to it? Dalgleish. Ah, good. Right. Thank you. How are you getting to Hoggett's?
Helicopter, would you believe? Are you going to be all right for the test match?
Of course. What you take me for?
Good. I brought you a present. Thought it might cheer you up.
That's very nice of you. Yes, I like him. Thanks. You should have left already. This is no time for sentimental visits to old men with varicose veins.
Don't worry, I've got 2 questions for you in 2 minutes.
You look almost your old self, Adam.
Do I? Work the cure for everything, hmm?
Right, first question first.
Well, they come together. How did Lorimer strike you at his interview in May, and why did the board decide against him for the directorship?
Oh, he was uncompromising as ever. Still John the Baptist without the beard.
Was he married?
No, he lived with his elderly father. I got the impression of a man obsessed with detail. We all did.
Liked by his colleagues?
Hardly.
So better a new broom.
Exactly. Besides, Howarth had already proved himself as a manager. And that's what we needed, still do, to bring Hoggett's into line with the rest of the forensic service. I'm glad you're on this, Adam, even though you're not on my committee. The Home Office will be in quite a twitch.
Yes, somebody's private secretary has already been on to me. Heavily concerned about the television and the newspapers.
Yes, they'll love it. What's happening now to the staff at Hoggett's?
Oh, local CID have sealed up the building and keeping all the staff there till I arrive. I better go.
When I worked at Hoggett's, it was such a happy place.
John?
You read this piece right now. It's terrible, isn't it? It's all the time.
You all right?
They ought to have got here by now, surely. I'm in a helicopter. A police helicopter. How can they laugh? Don't they care?
Of course they do. They're embarrassed. We all are.
Keeping us cooped up like this. Has Howarth really got the authority?
Steady, Cliff, yes. And if he hasn't, Superintendent Mercer has. In fact, it's his responsibility to serve us up on a plate to whatever wonder boy New Scotland Yard care to send. This can't be treated as a little local problem, you know. This is murder. Very much inside a government department.
I know that. God.
No comment. That's correct. No access for the press until preliminary investigations are completed. It's ITN this time, barking at the gates.
Don't worry, I've got the right man out there.
Inspector, what about the statement? What exactly is going on?
Has there been a murder? Look, love, why don't you go and do an in-depth expose of chicken pests somewhere, okay?
Bell 206B Jet Ranger.
What?
Deus ex chopper.
Superintendent Mercer, how are you again? Inspector Massingham.
Yeah, Inspector. Oh, you're back sooner than we reckoned.
Yes.
Dr. Howarth, Chief Superintendent Dalgleish, Inspector Massey.
You don't seem too concerned, Claire.
Don't I? We all express ourselves in different ways, Paul.
Well, perhaps they'll let us out now.
Oh, I do hope so.
This is the only entrance. There's no sign of any tampering with the internal security system.
All 3 locks were in order when the building was opened up this morning. This lock connects the electronic system to Guy's Marsh Police Station. The internal circuit is controlled... Well, you'll see. This is Inspector Blakelock, our liaison officer.
Good morning, Inspector.
Good morning, sir. And this is where internal security is controlled.
I see. Everything was in order when you arrived this morning, was it?
Yes.
Thank you. And there are no other exits?
No, all the other doors were blocked off when this system was installed.
Right, I'll have that explained to me later. Now, perhaps may we see the morning?
This way. This floor comprises reception, the exhibit store, my office, my secretary's office. That's the library, which is used on occasion as a lecture room. It's where we're holding the staff at the moment, as you know. Is all this relevant?
Could be.
The plans of the building are in my office. Oh, and this is the biology department.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, Dr. Kerrison, Chief Superintendent Dalgleish.
Sorry to have kept you waiting. I'm sure you're very busy. This is my assistant, John Massingham.
Apart from Dr. Kerrison's preliminary examination, fingerprinting, photographs, we've left it all for you.
Thank you.
Everything points to an insider being responsible. That mallet, most likely the murder instrument.
I see.
You want me here, do you?
Oh, yes, certainly, Dr. Howarth. Yes, I do. Ah.
What are they doing up there?
Hold on, old son, hold on.
You think it was me, don't you?
I don't think anything. Besides, you had your mother-in-law with you last night, so you couldn't have.
How do you know that?
Your dear wife told me. Sue phoned me yesterday afternoon about Lorimer and you. By the way, when you do get home, tell her I don't propose to tell the police about her call unless she does. All right?
Why? Why not?
Because it's irrelevant to what happened, that's all. Nothing sinister. Just wired fuss to nothing. Okay?
Right, your comments first, Dr. Kerrison.
Intracranial injury from a single fracture, subdural hemorrhage. Estimated time of death, assuming a drop in body temperature of 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit per hour, would be somewhere between 8 o'clock last night and midnight. The room is kept at a constant temperature of 65 degrees.
Another cup of tea, Mr. Lorimer.
No.
Angela's had to go back to the laboratory. I'm just waiting for the vicar's wife to arrive, and then I'll go. Do you think you ought to lie down? No, you're not listening.
Done? Yes, and bag that. We'll look at it later. Thank you. Now, with this mallet, would the blow require much force?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, a child could have done it?
Well, that seems rather unlikely, don't you think?
I've no opinion at the moment. A woman, perhaps?
Yes, that's a possibility.
Provided this is the murder weapon, of course. We'd better get it straight to the Met Lab. John, would you take it down to the helicopter? The pilot ought to be getting back. Now, Dr. Lorimer was standing here. He was working on something. He was struck from behind when his back was turned. Well, there's no sign of struggle, there's no mess. Then he must have known his attacker and wouldn't have been expecting the blow. That's the main door into here, isn't it? And that one is what? Dr. Lorimer's office?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you think the assailant had any blood on him? I mean, spattered in any way?
Well, it's unlikely, because although the injury was fatal, it came from a simple fracture.
Yeah. And a single blow?
I believe so, yes. But the post-mortem will confirm or qualify my opinion.
Of course. And within the likely bracket of time of
8 o'clock last night and midnight.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he died almost immediately?
I'd say that was probable.
Yes. Although in my experience, head injuries can be very unpredictable. We had a case in London recently, a man with an axe wound, 7-inch depressed fracture of the parietal. Put his cap on, went down to the pub, had 3 large whiskies before reporting to hospital.
And he died?
Oh, yes, 15 minutes later.
Yes, well, I doubt if anything like that happened here.
You don't think Dr. Lorimer could have walked about for a time? Possibly locked the front door, reset the alarms, although fatally injured?
I don't think so, no.
I see.
May I say something?
Yes, of course, Dr. Howard.
Well, that's one examination that won't get done at this lab. They won't let us touch our own case. Seems a great waste of all our talent.
Sue's mother wasn't with us for long last night. She got the 8:30 bus.
Stop brooding, Clifford. With any luck, there'll be evidence Lorimer was dead by then. I don't suppose any of our alibis are perfect.
My point being that his father was absolutely positive about the time he rang Lorimer last night. 9:15.
Why did you take your secretary with you this morning?
Oh, I see, yes. Miss Foley is Dr. Lorimer's cousin. I thought it appropriate to have a relative there when I broke the news to his father.
I've detailed Detective Inspector Doyle and Detective Sergeant Reynolds to help you on this, if that's all right.
Doyle? Yes, I know him.
He's very experienced, and 2 constables, Cox and Warren. Do you need me anymore?
No, Superintendent. Thank you for everything.
Leave it with you, then. Good luck.
All right if I get the mortuary boys out now?
Yes, of course, Dr. Kerrison. Thank you.
If you need me later, I'll be at the hospital. What happened?
Thank you.
Well, I'm rather concerned about my staff. They've been cooped up for rather a long time now.
They're adults. They'll appreciate why.
I see. Oh, there is something you may or may not need to know. Our cleaning lady, Mrs. Bidwell, appears to have been hoaxed.
Huh?
A woman telephoned Mrs. Bidwell's husband to ask if she might come to my house this morning instead of here to help my sister.
When?
Early this morning.
Oh, I see. And does Mrs. Bidwell work for you at home?
Very occasionally after parties, that sort of thing.
John, ask Inspector Doyle to come up, will you?
And the hoaxer obviously knew that Mrs. Bidwell wouldn't take the call.
Why was that?
Oh, she hates telephones. Don't go near them, everybody knows that. It's practically folklore.
And, for instance, all the staff here would know that.
Oh, yes, indeed. And outside, too, so it could have been just a stupid village joke, but however, she turned up at my house convinced that she was needed. What the hoaxer didn't know was that my sister wasn't there. She was in London, and she left yesterday.
Inspector Doyle, I won't keep you. Thank you, Dr. Hart. By the way, who is your senior biologist now?
Miss Claire Easterbrook.
So I'd like to see her. Could you ask her to come up, please?
Certainly.
So you're back again?
Yes, Inspector Doyle. And I've got a job for you.
Good-o. I need an escort.
Not at all, sir.
Your chief's manners are rather short.
Is your sister on the phone in London, sir?
Yes, ex-directory.
Well, we shall need that number.
You sound like the butler, Inspector.
As a child, I was rather good at impersonating our family butler.
I'm sorry you've all been kept waiting here so long. Miss Easterbrook?
Yes.
Chief Superintendent Dalgleish would like to speak to you first.
Right away?
Right away.
Meanwhile, I've had a word with one of the local constables to lay on some sandwiches. And we might even rise to instant coffee later on.
What's he like, this superintendent?
You'll soon be able to see for yourself.
Oh, like that, is it?
Miss Easterbrook, sir.
Missy. I'm sorry, Miss Easterbrook. Should we go over here? Would you like a glass of water or something?
No, thank you. I shall be all right in a minute.
Right. Now, look, I need your help. This book.
Yes, it's Dr. Lorimer's.
It looks as though some pages have been torn out.
Oh, that's strange. They look like...
Please.
Oh, sorry. They look like the notes he made yesterday.
Really?
police officer.
Yeah, seen you at Guy's Marsh.
You got a phone call this morning. Message for the wife.
What's that to do with you?
Quite a lot. One of the staff at Hoggett's got himself killed.
Don't know any of them.
Who is it rang you?
She never said?
It was a woman then.
What's it was? One of the missus do some cleaning.
You telling me she didn't give her name?
I'm telling you what happened, that's all.
What time was this call?
We were just starting me kipper. Just on 7, maybe 10 to.
You can't remember the voice?
Nope.
Did this woman say your wife was to go to Dr. Howard's house?
That's right, she...
No, hang on. I haven't finished. Or did she say she was to come to Dr. Howard's house?
What's the difference?
A big difference. Was it go or come?
Oh, Lord. You got me now. Can't remember. Look, I got this whole 5 acre of carrots.
Think about it. When you finish work, report to the station. We want a statement, right?
Is me missus okay?
Why? You reckon she did it?
I didn't ring Mrs. Bidwell, if that's what you're thinking. Besides, I'd have known it wouldn't work.
John? No gloves, sir. That's all right. Why wouldn't you?
Old Mr. Lorimer was due to be admitted to hospital for a skin complaint. He was always fretting at Edwin, Dr. Lorimer, about the arrangements for getting him there. Now, yesterday morning he rang to say the hospital couldn't take him. The bed wasn't available after all.
Who took the call?
I did. Edwin was with Dr. Howarth. I told him when he came back, and he said he'd look in on his father later on. But you see, whoever made that phone call putting off Mrs. Bidwell must have counted on the old man not being there yesterday, if the purpose of the call was to delay finding Dr. Lorimer's body.
I see. Well, thank you, Miss Easterbrook.
Is that all?
For the moment, yes.
Thank you.
John, get the constable to accompany him, will you?
Sir. Would you accompany the lady downstairs?
Dr. Lorimer wouldn't have talked much about his own affairs.
Well, did you follow all that, sir?
So who else would have known that his father was supposed to have been in hospital yesterday? Yes. I was just trying to work out why someone should wish to delay Mrs. Bidwell. I mean, what was so important here? Perhaps a piece of evidence that was forgotten or needed to be removed. Left last night, but remembered this morning.
On the missing page torn out of the notebook.
Yes. The murderer did that.
And he wore gloves, which suggests premeditation.
Something else. Have you noticed in that Lorimer's analysis was duplicating work already done by his assistant, Mr. Bradley?
Do you think it's common practice?
Don't know. Check it out.
Well, Claire Easterbrook said that Lorimer was a perfectionist, much disliked by his colleagues.
Mm-hmm. Then we'd better find the missing pages.
Waste bins the lot, yes?
Yes, get Mrs. Bidwell to help you.
Sir.
Oh, John.
Sir.
I'm a perfectionist, too.
Oh, yes.
This way, gentlemen.
Hello?
Calling Inspector Doyle.
Yes, Doyle here.
Hoggett's wish to contact you. What kept you? I've been calling for 20 minutes.
So I got took short, okay?
Control out.
Well, never thought to see him carried out in a hold-all. Look at them zips.
After you, Mrs. Bidwell.
Right, careful with him. Go on.